If you search for spiritual awakening online, you'll find a very specific aesthetic: green juice, crystals, and an aura of absolute untouchable peace. Then the actual process starts, and that aesthetic shatters. Many people expect spirituality to act as a self-improvement hack, a way to avoid messy human emotions and float into a state of effortless bliss. But true awakening does not tolerate the spiritual bypass. Instead of levitating, you hit the floor. This initial phase is widely documented across historical traditions as the dark night of the soul, a period of profound, disorienting inner darkness. True awakening is the painful beginning of a profound subtraction. It is the removal of every comfort you currently rely on. The first thing to go is usually your sense of belonging. You sit down with old friends, engage in your usual routines, and feel completely alienated. Conversations that used to anchor you suddenly sound like static. Then the physical symptoms arrive. Your nervous system rebels. You experience crushing, unexplainable fatigue in the afternoon, followed by sudden electric surges that jolt you awake at 3 a.m. As the disorientation peaks, a specific psychological terror sets in. You look at your crumbling relationships and your chaotic mind, and you become convinced that you are losing your grip on reality. Clinical psychologists categorize this specific form of distress as a spiritual emergency. It is a documented crisis of transformation that often mimics psychopathology. The breakdown you are living through marks the architectural collapse of your false self. Spiritual awakening hurts because it demands the literal death of your current identity. Rupert Spira uses a theater analogy. Imagine an actor, John Smith, representing your pure awareness. He lowers a heavy, jagged shell over himself to play King Lear. That shell is your ego. The costume locks tight, carrying Lear's trauma. He commits with such focus that John Smith disappears, and the actor genuinely believes he is King Lear. Awakening is the jarring, unscripted moment on stage when you look down, see the heavy robes, and remember you are wearing a costume. You realize you are the actor underneath. The intense suffering you feel right now is simply King Lear realizing he isn't real. It is the panic of a fictional character reacting to his own erasure. And the character of King Lear refuses to leave the stage quietly. Your ego will violently fight against this realization. This desperate resistance powers the physical disorientation. It fuels the harsh inner critic that screams at you, insisting you are ruining your life. It also explains the crushing alienation. Your old friendships and habits were tailored to fit the character of King Lear. Once the costume starts coming off, none of that old life fits the actor underneath. Carl Jung recognized this destructive process as a requirement for growth, observing we must shed the rigid mask of the ego to reach true individuation. You aren't losing your mind, you are losing your character, allowing your true self to finally step onto the stage. Eventually, the exhaustion gives way to clarity. The ego's resistance burns itself out, and the terrifying disorientation begins to subside. A common misconception is that reaching this state makes you permanently numb. You will still stub your toe. You will experience grief and feel human emotion. But the optional suffering, the neurotic, ego-driven torment and story-making, drops away. You stop creating a mental movie about your pain. Looking back, the terrifying destruction of your old life serves as a necessary clearing of the slate. It is impossible to build an authentic, lasting life on top of a false, constructed identity. The old foundation had to be demolished. There is an old Zen proverb that says, "Before enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. After enlightenment, chop wood, carry water." You return to the normal world, but your eyes are clean. The exhausting performance is over. The old identity has been destroyed, leaving you free to navigate your life from the deep, unshakable peace of your true self.